Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another training video here with the Packard Law Firm. I am your host, Mercedes, and in this two-part series, I am showing you guys how we track and manage our PNC and leads. And in the first part, I went over the different types of leads that we may encounter and those definitions right here. And in this second part video, I'm going to show you guys how we actually manage and track that data. So this is all in the same worksheet here. So we've got definitions and then we've got data down here. Definitions, of course, you can always refer back to them, but we have it all right here. So we're going to go over to the data section for this video. So in this category here, we want to put the date that we actually received the lead. So we'll put today's date, so 6/5/20. The user, of course, that means the person, whoever is handling or took the PNC or lead. So let's put my name, Mercedes. Next, we've got PNC name, so we'll do John Doe. Next, we have the PNC phone number, or it can be their email, whatever the best method of communication is, just put that information here. So we'll do 210, because we're repping San Antonio here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next is going to be the initial response time, meaning how long did it take for Mercedes, me, to actually respond or do something with this lead that I received. So it can be anywhere between 0 all the way up, meaning that if I were to take a phone call live, it would be 0. It didn't take me any time at all to respond to the lead. It's going to be 0 minutes. However, if it took me 2 hours to respond to the lead, we track it by minutes, so it would be 120 minutes. So in this case, we'll go ahead and do 5 minutes. It took me 5 minutes to respond to this lead because somebody emailed it over to me, and it took me 5 minutes to either call them and leave them a voicemail or somehow, get in contact with this lead. It took me 5 minutes. Okay. Next, we have status. So under this category, of course, we want to know what the current status is with the lead. So first here, we've got pending, meaning that we're still waiting on an answer. For example, if we left them a voicemail or if we texted, emailed them, we haven't heard anything yet, then we will put them as pending. We haven't done anything truly with the lead. Next, we have intake scheduled, meaning that we're going to be able to help out with their case, and we scheduled an appointment for them to come into the office so that we can sign them up. Next, we have no take, meaning that we were not able to help them out with their case and we just were not able to take them on as a client. They would be a no take. Next, we have retained, meaning that we already went through the whole intake process, we signed contracts, and we represent the client. We are their attorney. We would classify them as retained. Next, we have a not hired, kind of similar to a no take, but this one is essentially where maybe we were able to help the client or we're not able to help them anymore or they're not interested in representation, then they would be a not hired. Next, we have no response. And this one means that we have made multiple attempts to contact this PNC either via phone calls, emails, text messaging, and we have not heard from them in several weeks, and we go ahead and decide to close it out. We would classify them as a no response. Next, we have transferred lead, meaning if a lead were to call me and they had Social Security questions or special needs planning questions, I would classify them as a transferred lead, and that means that I gave whoever would be responsible for handling this lead, I gave them that information and then they'll contact the lead on their own. So if somebody was calling me because they were denied Social Security and they need help appealing it, then I would classify them as a transferred lead because I gave their information. I work in the personal injury department here, so that's out of my scope. So I would give whoever's responsible for calling that lead and giving them information, I would give them that information and then they will reach out to them. So they would be a transferred lead. Next, I've got referring out. And of course, this means that we were not able to help out the client, but we may have somebody in our referral network and we referred them to a different attorney or a different organization. So in our purposes, let's go ahead and do pending. Next, we have case type. So these are the different types of cases that we may encounter. Of course, we handle all of these except for family law, workers' comp, and criminal law. We do see these ones fairly frequently, so that's why they're on here, but we do not handle these sorts of cases. So of course, we've got car wreck, medical malpractice, slip, trip, and fall, other injury, and this would fall under a non-subscriber work injury. long-term disability, family law, workers' comp, criminal law, special needs planning, social security, and other. And other, for example, would be like real estate law. If it's a landlord or tenant issue, we would categorize them as other. So in our purposes, let's do car wreck. Okay. Source category. So this means what is, or how did this lead get to us? Were they a repeat client? Were they an interdepartmental referral? Were they recommended to us by a family or friend? Were they a part of one of our referral networks, or did they hear about us through the internet? So first, let's go through repeat. So of course, we've got several. We've got repeat, current, former client, Social Security, repeat, current, former client, personal injury, and repeat, current, former client, other. And other would fall under special needs planning or bankruptcy. Next, we've got interdepartmental referral. Of course, I already went over the definitions for those. So we have interdepartmental referral, Social Security intake, Social Security case manager, Social Security medical records, Social Security attorney, Social Security closeout, special needs planning, pre-litigation, and litigation. So if somebody from any one of these departments referred one of their clients to a different department, then we would classify them as an interdepartmental referral. Next on our list, we've got recommendation. So of course, say one of our PLF staff members recommended their friends or family to us, then this is what we would classify them as. Current, former client, and an unknown word of mouth. Again, an unknown word of mouth, I went over this in part 1, meaning is that you were at a gas station, let's pretend, and somebody said, hey man, you need to give the Packard Law Firm a call, but you never got their phone number or their name or any information. They would be a true unknown word of mouth, but they recommended you to give us a call. Next, we've got referral network. So of course, we've got referral network, medical provider, community organization, lawyer, no referral fee, lawyer with referral fee, attorney referral groups, and other referral network. And if you need help trying to decipher what sort of referral network this lead came from, of course, you can always go back to the definitions and you can look here and see what they would fall under. Okay. And then next and lastly, we've got internet. So of course, this would be, did they hear of us through the Packard Law Firm website and they submitted a lead through the website? Did they hear about us through social media such as Facebook, or did they look us up on Google and decided to give us a call or come into the office? So for our purposes, let's go ahead and do a repeat client, and they were a former personal injury client. Okay. So next we've got source name. So let me actually go ahead and change this. So let's do interdepartmental referral, and then we'll do Social Security medical records. So the source name, we want to know who actually referred the client or the lead over to the different department. So for example, we've got somebody, John Doe, Mercedes took the call, took 5 minutes for her to respond. Of course, it's pending. She left a voicemail. It is a car wreck, and somebody from the Social Security medical records team referred this client over to us. So of course we will put the source name, we will put that person's name, whoever referred them. So in this case, let's put Jane Doe. Just the source name is just whoever referred this lead over to us. And of course, let's pretend if it was a recommendation and we've got current, former client, and then we would put whoever the current or former client was that referred their friend or family over to us, we would put their name there. Of course, we want to know the actual source and where this lead came from, how they heard of us, just so that we can show our thanks and express gratitude as well, because we really do appreciate when people refer their friends and families to us, because of course we are a very close-knit group here at the Packard Law Firm. So we always want to know where the source came from so that we can just express our gratitude. And then lastly, we've got clarification on labels. So of course, if it is very vague, we don't know, so if the case type was an other, we don't know what type of case it is, then you can go ahead right here with the clarification on labels and you can say it was a landlord issue, something like that, where whoever looks at this is able to determine, okay, so Mercedes took this PNC, here's their contact information, it took her about 5 minutes to respond, looks like it's pending, we haven't done anything with it. Case type is other, so we don't know what it is, but we do know that they were recommended to us by a current or former client. Here is that person's name, and it looks like it's a landlord issue. So this is how we track, and this is how we manage our PNCs. It's pretty simple. It's not that difficult to learn and figure out. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that this was very helpful and informative. Thank you guys so much.